A Netflix executive has admitted to following activity on piracy sites to see what shows to add to its library. This is the reason for adding the show Prison Break in the Netherlands. They also said that they are aware that people find watching Netflix much easier than torrenting. Netflix has proven detrimental to piracy. Traffic on piracy sites drops as Netflix traffic grows. HBO also watches piracy and was pleased that Game of Thrones was the most pirated show last year.
So Luciano Sanchez, age 112, designated the world's oldest man in June, died last Friday in a New York hospital. He was born in Spain on June 8, 1901. Sanchez credits his long life to eating a banana a day. He held his title for a duration of 3 months.
Drunken moose are wreaking havoc across Sweden. The moose are becoming inebriated after eating fermenting fruit. Although this is not that uncommon. A police spokesman has said that the animals are becoming fearless and really dangerous after getting drunk. And in addition to endangering the public, they also endanger themselves. One of the inebriated elk entangled himself in a swing set and didn't get free until he dragged it over 820 feet from the playground. Other herds of drunken moose have blockaded entire roads.
A litter collector on Saturday in Lapine, Oregon, found a grenade while picking up trash. The Oregon State Police bomb squad was called to dispose of the explosive and later stated that the grenade was active. The county sheriff's office would also like to remind everyone not to pick up live grenades as they could explode.
Australia has its share of odd animals, but lately kangaroos and pigs have been acting a little odd. Recently, a feral pig chugged down 18 cans of beer and challenged a cow to a fight and was later found passed out under a tree. A few days later, a kangaroo broke into a man's house, swam in his pool, and left a trail of destruction in his wake. However, this was simply the first of an entire mob of kangaroos. The owner of the house said that it's lucky that the damage is contained to the lounge room and a little bit in my bedroom. It could have gone on a rampage and destroyed the whole house. It's just unheard of.
Okay guys, write this address down, GuerillaWolves.com. Go there and take our poll. Do you like Mac or PC better?
Do you like Mac or PC more?
I like Mac because it's user-friendly.
Mac. Why?
It's easier to get around. It's easier to control.
PC. Why? Because they're better.
Definitely Mac.
Mac, definitely.
Mac. PC.
Mac all the way.
PC.
PC, you gotta go with that classic stuff, dog.
Definitely Mac.
I like Mac better.
I gotta say I like Mackin'.
PC.
In order to improve the stay of visiting fans, the Seattle Seahawks decided last Saturday to disguise their security and police force as 49ers fans. So I guess when those fans were beaming their apple juice at opposing fans, they were in for a very rude awakening. Mexico has fired its soccer coach. That's right, Jose Manuel de la Torre is gone. His replacement, the guy they wanted all along, Victor Vulche, or however you say his name. But the main point is, as it stands right now, Mexico would fail to make the World Cup. So they took the expert comeback soccer coach, Victor What's-His-Face. And this will be his biggest job of all time, to help Mexico qualify. And it's easier than it sounds. All they got to do is beat Panama and win the goal differential in a playoff versus New Zealand, and they can just about go in. And finally, Oklahoma State. They have recruiting allegations against them from 2001 to 2007. None of their players or coaches currently on the roster are affected. However, this dates back to Les Miles' tenure, so Tiger fans should be wary. The allegations are grave. They include having tutors do student-athletes' work, teachers changing the grades of football players. This is very serious allegations. This week for Monday Night Football, the people at ESPN, they just blew it. They got an awful football matchup. But in their defense, at least it's divisional and not some interleague crud. But this week I'm going to pick the Denver Broncos over the Oakland Raiders for one reason. The Oakland Raiders only got Terrell Pryor, whereas the Denver Broncos, they got Pinkerton Manning, so I'm going with Pinkerton.
This is your fantasy football update for week 4. It's the bye week for the Carolina Panthers and the Green Bay Packers. So if you have people like Randall Cobb or Cam Newton in your lineup, you want to get them out and replace them with people on your bench this week. Let's get started. My love list this week has 2 wide receivers. Deshaun Jackson of the Philadelphia Eagles is number 1. He has big play potential every time he's on the field, and he's a perfect fit for Chip Kelly's new offense that he's implementing in Philadelphia. He's breaking out with crazy numbers this season, and he's always a touchdown threat. You can always, this season it looks like you can constantly rely on him to put up good numbers for you. Another wide receiver I like is Stevie Johnson of the Buffalo Bills. He's silently posting great numbers this season. He's not a flashy name by any means, but he's putting up solid numbers, starter-worthy numbers, and he's becoming E.J. Manuel's favorite person to throw to in the Bills' offense. This week, I hate Maurice Jones-Drew. It seems like he can't do anything this year. I was really hoping personally that he'd come through this year. I drafted him in a lot of my leagues, and he's really let me down. He ran for 27 yards against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and in his first 2 weeks against Jacksonville and then Kansas City in week 1, he only ran for 72 yards combined in over 20 attempts. And so that's a major letdown for a lot of fantasy owners that got him in the first 4 rounds. So you can go ahead and bench him. I'm not feeling good about his prospects this season. And one more person I hate for this week is Tom Brady, quarterback of the New England Patriots. He's a talented quarterback, always has been and always will be, but he's only as good as his wide receivers. And he's stuck with a lot of undrafted free agents that are his receivers in Kembrell Thompkins and Aaron Dobson. Julian Edelman's his only decent threat, and he's not doing he's not even that great. And Stephen Ridley isn't helping at all in the run game. So if you can trade him and get something decent for him just on name value alone, definitely trade him this week and try to get a new quarterback and start over. That's all I got for fantasy this week.
Hey, welcome back to Mark's Mini Games. Oh, wait, we're not doing games this week. We're doing music. All right, so this week I got In Utero. 20th anniversary comes with 4 discs, 3 CDs, and 1 DVD. Along with the album, it comes with 74 unreleased tracks. It also comes with a 56-page booklet with never-before-seen photos and much more. If you're a big Nirvana fan, I definitely recommend this to you. And here's a giant Nirvana fan right here. We got... All right, and I'm going to let him talk about the game.
All right. So, Nirvana's In Utero. It is their 3rd studio album. So this album came out in '93 and featured tracks such as Serve the Servants, Heart-Shaped Box was one of the more popular ones, and Dumb, which was a slower song. But this album, Nirvana changed their sound quite a bit because Kurt Cobain actually hated that he was getting so much attention. And the first song, Serve the Servants, he made it, he changed the sound from their last album so that people wouldn't like it as much, and because they would listen to the first song and say, oh, I'm not going to buy the album. And so my favorite track on the album is probably Milk It or Very Ape. They're both great songs, a little heavy on the distortion, a lot of feedback, but overall great album, great songs. Give it a 9 out of 10. Check it out.
Reporting to you after 1 long week, as opposed to 3 micro weeks, I welcome you to St. Paul's. This episode is brought to you by me. Do you see anyone else reporting the news? I didn't think so. In this week's news, several students have reportedly spotted several bizarre and unsightly animals roaming the campus. Some of the reported species include squirrel, bird, orangutan, hyena sloth hybrid chimera, and dog. Student Council says not to worry, as they have yet to validate the reports concerning the dog. Student Council also reminds the school to be wary of the recent outbreak of senioritis. Due to a mutation in the disease, senioritis is now contagious among grades 8 through 14. Fortunately, there are methods to diagnosing and avoiding your fellow senioritic students. To tell whether or not someone is plagued, check for verbal signs such as, "School sucks," "I want to go home," "I have senioritis." When approaching someone with the disease, avert your eyes and walk away. Make no contact with him. Another method is to simply not go to school. And with that, I am all out of time. And remember, St. Paul's.
Oh, it seems we lost our feed again. Second week in a row that's happened. Anyway, this is it for Guerilla Wolf News. See you next week.